All right, we are now live. Before we get started with this video, let me check whether this live is working on my mobile or not. Okay, I think it is working. Not now. Let's check it. Okay, this live is now working. In this live video, we are going to solve this coding interview question: delete node in a linked list. The constraint to this problem, we have to solve the problem in constant time complexity. This is the problem statement. It states that there is a single linked list head and we want to delete a node in it. You are given the node to be deleted node. You will not be given access to the first node of the head. We don't have the access to the first node. And all the value of linked list are unique, and it's guaranteed that the given node is not the last node in the linked list. Basically, this is the problem statement. Now, let's see how we can solve this problem. In this problem, we are given a linked list, something like this. All the nodes values are unique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and null. We are just given a node. We don't have the access to the head node. We are not given the head node. We are given a node. Let's call it, we're given this node 3. We have to delete this node 3. We have the access to this node only. We have the access to this node. We have to delete this node in this linked list. How we can delete this node? We don't have access to the head node. Can we think how we can solve this problem? Actually, there is a dummy solution for this problem. This question will not ask by the recruiters for a coding interview session. They might ask at the end of the interviews, or they might ask as a follow-up questions. This is a pretty simple coding interview questions. Once you know the trick, you can solve this problem pretty easily. What is the trick? The trick is that we will copy the value in this node. It is guaranteed that we're not given the tail node or the last node in the linked list. We are not given the last node. It is guaranteed that. So what we can do, we can just copy the value of next node. We'll copy this value 4 and we'll update this value. Okay, we just updated this value. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just disconnect this link from this node and we'll connect to this node. This is pretty straightforward, right? We have solved this problem. The time complexity is O of 1. This is the constraint. And we solve this problem in this constant time complexity. So what we're doing, we're just updating the node value. So node.val equals to node.next.value. Then what we're doing, we're disconnecting this link and we're connecting by just keeping one node. So node.next equals to node.next.next. We are guaranteed that we are not given the tail node or the last node. So this code will works for all type of inputs. Hope you've understood this solution. This is a pretty simple coding interview questions. This is kind of a warm-up questions for coding interviews. The recruiter might ask at the beginning, at the very beginning, or it might ask as a follow-up questions, or the recruiter might ask you these questions at the end of the interviews, or in the not in the beginning, but at the end of the interview settings. Okay, so I hope you've understood. Now let's try to solve this problem on LeetCode site. This is pretty straightforward, and this is very, very important actually. This questions was asked by the interviewers a lot of times. This is so simple, but this is a dummy coding interview questions, and you can solve these questions without you have previously solved, or if you have a pretty good thinking capacity or thinking ability. They might just judge your thinking or your problem solving capability. That's it, and let's solve this here. So node.val equals to node.next.val, and here what I'm going to do is that I'm going to disconnect the next the pointer next pointer to next dot to node dot next dot next. This is it. This is the solution. Just 2 line of codes. Pretty simple. Now let's run this code. Alright, accept it. Let's submit it. Alright, we have the status success. So we have solved. This is the solution. Pretty simple and straightforward. If you want, guys, more video like this, or if you have any recommendation, if you have any questions, you can ask your questions in the chat forum. Just ask your question there. I'll be glad to answer your question. This is so simple. I decided to create a data structure course on the channel for absolute beginners. If you have a dream to work at a big tech industry like a FANG industry, then the data structures course I prepared myself to create on the channel that might help you a lot. If you want to see data structures and algorithmics course on the channel, please let me know in the chat forum. Actually, there are not a lot of viewers in my channel watching my live videos, so I want your support. If you support me, I will try to give you as far as possible. So this is all about this video. I will try to go live frequently on the channel. Due to my examinations, I can't go live frequently. Sorry for that. Oh, I got here. All right, so there was a question. I have on-site interview with Google in over a month. What do we recommend to do? Okay, that's a great question. I would suggest first complete the blind 75 if you haven't solved before. Blind 75 list. If you haven't solved a problem on the blind 75 coding questions, I would recommend you to first solve the blind 75 questions. Then you can solve the problems. Striver is issued. I think there are around 190 problems. Those are really quality problems. I can show you the channel link of this guy, super talented, youtube.com. Let me show you. The channel name is Take You Forward. So this guy created a Striver SD sheet that contains 100 and around 90 problems. This SD sheet, this is a very good SD sheet. I also solved many problems. I have started solving it again. I saw it's a quality problems you can solve. So I can give you the link here if you want. If you have never heard before the channel, I would recommend you to do this. Okay, this is for Striver sheet, and here I have another. Okay, let me give you the blind 75 list. LeetCode. Alright, team blind here. Thank you for asking this question on these videos, and yeah, this is the link for the blind 75, and this is the link for the SD sheet prepared by the Striver to take you for a channel. This guy is super smart and he's a really good tutor as well. You can follow his channel. There's a lot of good content, I think. And yeah, do you have any more questions? If you solve this type of questions, and if you can solve those type of questions, I think you can easily pass the Google coding interviews, and best of luck. Also, I can suggest you LeetCode pattern 172 LeetCode pattern. This link, this is pretty let me find out here. LeetCode pattern, LeetCode pattern questions. Actually, I have 172 LeetCode pattern. All right, so here we have again 100 and around, let me check it here, 171 questions. These are really quality questions for coding interviews. You can prepare yourself by just completing this three list of questions. Then it will be very helpful for your Google coding interview, I think so. If you have any more questions, guys, you can post your questions on the reply forum. I will try to answer that. Do you have any more questions? All right, so I want to end this interview, this live video right now. And yeah, thanks for watching this live video. Still, I'm waiting for your questions. I cross such. Do you have any more questions? I'm glad to answer. I have also some content. You can contact me, or if you need any more resources. Okay, it's very difficult. Do you have the video series? I have some videos on my channel on dynamic programming, but there are not a lot of videos in my dynamic programming series. I plan to create videos on that. You'll find dynamic programming video series on the channel very soon. But I can give you the link to this guy. This guy is teaching dynamic programming very, very efficiently. I can give you that. Just if you complete that series, you can be proficient in dynamic programming. So here okay, this series is super helpful for dynamic programming coding interviews. Just follow it. Just follow this series of dynamic programming. One of the best resource it could be. In the future, I will try to create a dynamic programming series on my channel for sure. But you can follow this. Here we have questions, almost 57. If you complete these 57 questions, I think you will have a pretty good chance acing any kind of dynamic programming problems. He teaches dynamic programming questions really well. I plan to create a series on that. You can complete this series. It will be very, very helpful for you. Do you have any more questions? Croatians, do you have any more questions? If you have any more questions, you can ask. No problem. I'll try to answer to your questions. Okay, there is no question, so I wanna just leave. I wanna just end this live video right now. Okay. Thank you. All right. Thanks for joining this live video. I will see you in the next live video. Till then, take care.